The 12 judgments God will use to judge us, exactly when they'll happen, and what happens if you fail them. Every single person watching this video will face the following 12 judgments. Both the living and the dead will stand trial. These judgments will take place from now until the end of time. In every judgment, we have the chance for salvation. But as the judgments progress, they become increasingly difficult to overcome. But it's not just humans who will stand trial. 2 of these judgments are reserved for fallen angels and churches. Pay close attention, for this is what we are about to reveal. 1. The particular judgment. This is the only judgment that occurs long before the calamities of the end times. It is appointed for men to die once, and after this comes judgment. This judgment takes place before the rapture, before the tribulation, and before the trumpets of Revelation. It happens right after a person dies. At that moment, God asks a very important question. What did you do with the Son I sent into the world? In this judgment, the good deeds we've done don't matter. It doesn't matter how much we sinned or how many times we went to church. The Bible makes it clear. Whoever does not believe stands condemned already. The only thing that determines this judgment is whether we accept Jesus. But what happens to those who fail this judgment? Luke 16 tells the story of a rich man who dies and wakes up screaming in Hades. But this Hades isn't eternal hell. It's a waiting room for the great white throne judgment. And it's precisely in this final judgment where the decision is made about who gets cast into eternal hell. We'll see this next. Those who stand approved in the particular judgment also enter a waiting room, but in a different place. Their spirits remain conscious in paradise alongside God while they await a different judgment, the judgment seat of Christ. Whether they stand approved in the particular judgment or not, everyone enters a waiting room where they will remain until the major events of Revelation, when the rest of the judgments will unfold. And stay tuned in this video because we are about to discover them. 2. The judgment of the rapture. A day that seems normal will turn into the most astonishing event in all of history. Suddenly, millions of people will disappear. This is known as the rapture. The Bible explains it this way. The dead in Christ will rise first. Then we will be caught up together with them in the clouds. But who will be taken? Only those who can answer yes to this question from God. Were you watching and ready to meet me? This means not everyone will be taken. Only those who have been spiritually alert and faithful. Jesus warned, "Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come." Being spiritually alert means living always awake before God. It's looking at our lives with honesty, seeing if we're doing what God asks, and repenting quickly when we fall short. But what will happen to those who fail this judgment and are not taken up in the rapture? They will remain on earth to endure a time known as the Great Tribulation. It will be a very challenging 7-year period with catastrophic punishments and trials unlike anything the world has ever seen. Those who are found unworthy in the judgment of the rapture may still find salvation during the Great Tribulation, but it will come at the cost of terrible martyrdom. Even though people left behind can still be saved during the tribulation, it will be a heavy price to pay. Many will have to lay down their lives for their faith, even facing death. On the other hand, those who are raptured will experience a glorious transformation. Their current bodies will be changed in an instant. Mortal bodies will be replaced with glorified immortal ones. They will be miraculously taken for a personal encounter with Christ in heaven, escaping all the dreadful judgments that will befall the earth. For them, the Bible offers this promise. Because you have kept the word of my patience, I will also keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come upon the whole world. Thus, the rapture serves as a great divider. It distinguishes those who truly follow Christ in their hearts from those who only pay lip service. This event marks the end of God's patience and the beginning of judgment upon the world. It will arrive without warning, like a thief in the night. I will come like a thief, and you will not know what hour I will come upon you. The sudden disappearance of millions of people will cause worldwide chaos. Social and economic systems will collapse. This turmoil will be the perfect opportunity for the Antichrist to appear, presenting himself as the only one capable of solving the global crisis. Interestingly, in the original Greek Bible, the word harpazo is used to describe the rapture. This word means to snatch away violently. It is a swift and powerful action that will divide the world into two groups, those who were ready and those who were not. 3. The judgment at the judgment seat of Christ. Immediately after the rapture, while the earth plunges into the great tribulation, something extraordinary will occur in heaven. The believers who have been raptured will stand before Christ. This moment is called the judgment seat of Christ, or in Greek, the bema. The word bema was used in ancient Greece and Rome. It was a platform where athletes received prizes, such as crowns, based on their effort and performance. Paul used the metaphor of athletes to illustrate what will happen with believers. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each may receive what is due for what he has done in the body, whether good or bad. This judgment isn't about determining who is saved and who isn't. Those present have already been saved by their faith in Jesus. Instead, this judgment assesses the motivation behind every deed and action carried out during life. Here's the surprising part. The works of every believer will be tested by divine fire. Paul clearly explains, their work will be shown for what it is, because the day will bring it to light. It will be revealed with fire. Some deeds may seem impressive but are poorly motivated. For instance, serving others just for applause, preaching to feel important, or helping someone only to be seen by all. God's fire will consume such deeds in an instant, for they hold no real value to Him. Yet there are other deeds, those done with a pure heart, the sincere service that went unnoticed, the love for others that drove you to self-sacrifice, being faithful to God in the small things each day. These works will not be destroyed by the fire. On the contrary, the fire will purify them and reveal their true worth, like gold. What happens to those who are found unworthy in this judgment? What will become of those whose works do not withstand the divine fire? You won't lose your salvation, as salvation is a gift that cannot be lost. However, you may lose all your rewards and experience a moment of shame before your Lord. Remain in Him, so that when He appears, we may not be ashamed at His coming. For those who stand approved in this judgment, the rewards are glorious. The Bible mentions at least 5 distinct crowns for those who succeed in this judgment. The crown for those who exercised self-control, the crown for soul winners, the crown for those who longed for His coming, and the crown for those who endured trials. But there's more. These believers will reign with Christ for 1,000 years. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given to them. While earth experiences the most terrible horrors in history during the Great Tribulation, this rewarding ceremony takes place in heaven, a striking contrast. Chaos below,